All right, let's dive into spreadsheets. For a lot of us, just opening one of these things up can feel like walking into a pop quiz you totally forgot to study for. But my goal here is to change all that. We're going to take a quick tour of that command center at the top of the screen, and we're going to turn that confusing grid of boxes into a powerful tool you can actually use. So, let's get started.
Yeah, does this screen look a little familiar? That big blank grid? All those buttons? It can feel like a whole lot to take in at once. And if you've ever felt a little overwhelmed looking at this, trust me, you are not alone. But the key to unlocking all of its power is hiding in plain sight, right there at the top. You see that whole section up top? That's called the ribbon. And it's really not as scary as it looks. Actually, you should think of it as your own personal cheat code. A secret weapon for getting your work done faster, easier, and just smarter. Especially if you're working on a school project or just trying to get your life organized.
So let's start with the first and probably the most important part of the ribbon, the Home tab. Seriously, think of this as your command center. This is where you're going to spend most of your time. The easiest way to think about the Home tab is to just call it the Make It Pretty tool. This is where you do all the basic stuff, changing fonts, adding colors, aligning your text, everything you need to make your data look clean, professional, and super easy to read. It's the bread and butter for pretty much any spreadsheet task.
So much of the everyday power is packed right in here. You can change your fonts, make your titles bold, perfectly center your text. See that little dollar sign? One click and it turns your numbers into currency. Oh, and my absolute favorite time saver, the Auto Sum button. It can add up an entire column of numbers in a single click. No calculator needed.
Okay, so once your data's all formatted and looking sharp, it's time to really bring it to life. And that's where the Insert tab comes into play. This is your go-to spot for adding all kinds of new visual elements to your sheet.
To put it simply, the Insert tab is basically the big Add Stuff button. Anytime you find yourself thinking, I need to put something in my spreadsheet, whether that's a chart, a picture, a table, you name it, this is the first place you're gonna look.
Here's a perfect example. Instead of just handing your teacher a long, boring list of numbers for your project, you can come right here, click Chart, and boom, instantly turn that data into a colorful pie chart. All of a sudden, your numbers are telling a story. You can also pop in tables to keep things organized, or add headers and footers to make it look really polished.
Okay, let's talk about a tab that is going to save you a world of frustration, the Page Layout tab. Come on, we've all been there, right? You hit print and your perfectly organized spreadsheet turns into a complete paper nightmare.
Well, this tab is the hero we all need. I like to call it the Print Fixer. This is where you get to take back control and tell the program exactly how you want your spreadsheet to look when it comes out of the printer. No more surprises, and definitely no more wasted paper.
So instead of letting your data just spill out onto 6 messy pages with columns getting cut in half, you can come here, change the orientation to landscape, and even set a specific print area. And just like that, your document becomes a perfect one-page report. It is a total game changer. Now that we've covered how to make things look good on screen and on paper, let's get into the real engine room. The next two tabs, Formulas and Data, are where the true, mind-blowing power of spreadsheets really gets unleashed.
First up, the Formulas tab. This is the big brain of the entire program, and you do not have to be a math whiz, I promise. This is where the software does all the heavy lifting for you. It can do simple things like sum up a column or find an average, or even handle complex functions that make decisions based on your data.
And right here, this is the golden rule. If you remember only one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. Every single formula has to start with an equal sign. It's the #1 mistake beginners make, but that simple little symbol is what tells the program, hey, wake up, it's time to do some math.
Right next door to the brain, we have the Chaos Manager, also known as the Data tab. This is your best friend when you're facing a huge, messy list of information and you need to somehow tame it and make sense of it all.
Just imagine you've got a list of 200 names, but you only need to see the students from one specific class. Well, instead of scrolling forever, you can just click the Filter button and instantly hide everything else. Or with a single click of Sort A to Z, that entire messy list is in perfect alphabetical order. It literally manages chaos in seconds.
All right, we are on the home stretch. Our last two tabs, Review and View, are all about adding those final polishing touches and customizing your workspace before you share your masterpiece with the world.
It's really simple. The Review tab, that's your safety net. It helps you catch mistakes and protect your hard work. And the View tab, that's all about you.
It lets you change how you see the document to make your own life easier. Just think of the Review tab as your final quality check. You can run a spell check to catch any embarrassing typos, you can leave comments for a friend you're working with, and you can even use Protect Sheet to lock certain cells so nobody accidentally deletes your important formulas. It's your collaboration and protection hub, all in one.
And now, let's talk about a problem that I guarantee every single one of us has faced. You've got this massive list of data, right? And as soon as you scroll down, you completely forget what each column is for because the headers have vanished off the top of the screen. So frustrating.
Well, the View tab has this simple, almost magical solution called Freeze Panes. You just click it, and it locks that top row in place. Now, you can scroll down for miles, and your headers will always be right there at the top, telling you what's what. It's awesome.
And that's our tour. You know, when you break it down like this, that ribbon is way less intimidating, isn't it? It's not one giant, confusing dashboard. It's just a set of specialized toolboxes, each one designed for a different job. You use Home for looks, Insert for visuals, formulas for the thinking, data for organizing. It all makes sense.
So, what's the absolute best way to really learn all this? The advice is simple. Just get in there and start clicking on stuff. Be curious, experiment a little. I promise, you really can't break it. And that magical undo button is always there to save you if you go a little too far.
So there you have it. You've got the map. You know how to make your data look good, how to turn it into charts, how to print it perfectly, and how to manage even the most chaotic lists. The only question left is, now that you have the tools, what are you going to organize first?